Hi there! In my previous video I showed you how to cast on right-handed and left-handed. In this video I want to show you how to do the knit. And I'm going to explain it first right-handed. To visualize what I'm doing, I'm going to work with two colors, but you don't have to, you just work with one. What I want to show is that your yarn is in front of you. Maybe you can see it now. Can you? Yes. It's in front. It can also be in the back, but you have to keep it in the front. Yeah, so I'm working with two colors, and that means that I'm going to do it like this. So my white one is your color, what you have on the needles, and you keep it under your new needle. This one is the empty one, this one is the full one. Because I'm explaining it right-handed, you keep your needle with the casted on stitches in your left hand and your empty one in the right hand. What you're going to do is you go in between the first and the second stitch, and then you put your needle through the stitch. Yeah, it's a little loop. Oh, I see it doesn't work. Yeah, it's a little loop, and you go just through it. So nothing is in between the needles, and that's just it. Yeah, I am doing some magic here. So I have now the right color up to show you how to do this. You wrap the yarn around the empty needle counterclockwise, and yeah, one time. Then you jump over with your full needle to make sure you can see the new stitch. That one you want to keep. In my case, the red one I want to lose, but I don't want to lose it now. I want to lose it later. You go, your needle point you have to see again, and you see the new stitch is still on it. I pull it a bit down so that I'm sure that this one doesn't get off my needle, and then I pull the other one out. This is the new stitch. So I'm gonna explain again. You go in between the first and the second stitch. You go through the middle of the first stitch. You wrap the yarn around. You jump over, and the only thing I mean is that the new stitch is on the right side of the new of the old stitch, and then you make sure you can see the point. You shove it a bit down, and you pull your needle out. Again, you go in between the first and the second stitch. You pull the needle through the stitch, the first one. You wrap the yarn around. Yeah, you jump over, you go to the end of the needle, you see the point of your needle, you shove it down, and you pull out. Again, trying to do it very slowly. You go in between the first and the second one. You go through the first stitch. You wrap the yarn around. You jump over. Now you can see it. You see the point of your needle in front of you. Shove it down, and then pull the needle out. So you go in between the first and the second, you go through the first stitch, you wrap the yarn around, you jump over, you shove down to the end, you see your point of the needle in front of you, shove it down a bit and pull the old one off. You go in between the first and the second, and then you go through the first stitch, you wrap the yarn around, you jump over so that you can see the new stitch, see the point of the needle, shove it down a bit and pull out. Congratulations, you now know the first stitch of knitting, and it's called the knit. Going to explain again a bit faster. You go in between, through the first stitch, wrap around, jump over, go to the end, see the end point of the needle, shove it down and pull off. Pull out maybe. You go in between, through, you wrap it around, jump over, end of the needle, shove it down, pull out. Go in between, pull through the stitch, wrap around, jump over the end of the needle, make sure you see it, shove it down, pull out. Go in between, through, wrap it around, jump over, see the needle point, pull out. Yeah, I can do it really fast, I'm sorry if it's too fast. I want to show it again a bit slower. I'm going to do that. Give me a second. Here we are. You go in between, you go through, you wrap it around, you jump over so that you can see it, you go to the end of the needle, you see your own needle in front of you, you shove it down a bit and pull out. When you're at the end of the needle, you just turn them around, just like this. I need 3 more. Now the empty needle is in my left hand. You change sides. The empty is going back in the right hand and the full one is going in the left hand. And then you just start again. If you only are doing the knit, you go around and there it is again. So yeah, that was the right-handed. Now I'm going to show the left-handed. For the left-handed, it's a bit different because I use black one and yeah, it's pink, but it's very, very light pink, so maybe it looks like white. But when you see it next to the white one, you see a bit difference. Yeah, black is a bit hard for the camera to see, so I only used it to make a beginning for myself. I'm now holding it right-handed, so I have to change. Left-handed I was going to explain. So now the empty needle is in the left hand and the full needle is in the right hand. I have to change a bit, I think, so. Again, the wool is in front of you. And I'm going to do my magic trick to make it another color. And because I am original doing the knitting right-handed, this is a bit weird for me, but I know how to do it. And I hope that I can show. Yeah, you yeah, I'm gonna try to do it and explain it later. You go in between, you go through the stitch, and then you have to wrap the yarn around, and then yeah, I think the jump over makes it a bit easier. And then you pull your needle in front of you, you pull it a bit down, and then you want to release the old one. Yeah, I'm helping it a bit because the first stitch is always a bit weird to do, and because I'm not a natural left-handed doing this, it's a bit weird for me. But you go around. I need a little bit help from my other hand, and then you jump over so that you can see it, and then you pull it just like that, and then you shove the old one off the needle. So I'm gonna do it again, but so I'm holding my yarn in my right hand now because that's how I explained it before to someone who is left-handed, and it actually doesn't matter. It's just how you feel comfortable. So you go around, and then you jump over, and you see it right there. You see your point of the needle. You go a bit down at your new needle, and then you shove the old one off the needle. You go in between, you go around, then you jump over. There's the new stitch. You see it? There it is. And then there's the point of the needle. Shove it a bit down, and the old one goes off. So in between the first and the second, through the first stitch, from back to in between, you wrap it around, you jump over. There it is again. I'm not sure if you can see it. The needle point, shove it a bit down, go to the end of the needle, and shove the old one off. So yeah, that was explaining it left-handed. I'm gonna do it one more time, really slow. You go in between the first and the second, you go through the first stitch, you wrap your yarn around, then you jump over, you make sure you see the point of your needle, you shove it down, and make sure you keep that one. You go in between the first and the second, through the first stitch, you wrap the yarn around, you jump over, there it is again, see the point of the needle, shove it down a bit so you won't lose it, go to the end of the needle and pull it off. Well, thank you for watching. This was left and right-handed the knit.